Hello and welcome to the second chapter of this Excel Basics for Beginners program. In my previous video, I have discussed about some important terms and explained the entire layout of the Excel worksheet. If you have not watched that video, I would highly recommend you to go and watch that video. The link will be in the I button and also in the description below. In this video, I will show you step by step what it takes to learn Microsoft Excel. After watching this full video, you will be learning a lot of things that will help you to begin using Excel. And for learning more, please watch my full series of videos. I am going to launch my book very shortly. I will give 10 free copies of this book to some of the first 500 subscribers. For that, you just have to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your email address in the comment section so that I can get in touch with you before sending you this book. So now let's begin. To open the new Excel worksheet, I will just click on this search button. I will type here Excel. I will click on this. Excel now wants me to make a selection. It would like to know if I want to open an Excel template or simply open a blank workbook. You can see there are a lot of templates here to choose from. These are built-in templates like weekly schedule, personal expense calculator, and so on. I would encourage you to browse and explore these templates, but to learn Excel fully, it's better to start with a blank workbook. So let us just click this. Let me type in some data in the first cell. And press enter. You will notice that my text is longer than the cell. It looks like my data from cell A1 has spilled into cell B1. But it's just an illusion. All the words that I typed in cell A1 are intact in cell A1. You can check in this formula bar. When I click on cell B1, there is no information over here. That means it allows me to type the data in cell B1. Let me just show you as an example. If I type sales, you can see in the formula bar it is mentioned as sales, and in cell A1 it is mentioned as ABC Electronics Company. So I don't want this sales. I will just undo it. Just go to the top left and click on this arrow. You must have noticed that when I press enter, the cursor moved down automatically. If you want to move up, you press shift and enter. Shift and enter. Similarly, if you want to move to the right side of the sheet, just press tab. And if you want to move to the left side, just press shift and tab. Another way to navigate is by using your keyboard. You can just use the arrow keys to move from the cells. Or you can simply use your mouse to click on the cell that you want. Now let us prepare a sales report for this company. This is basically an electronics company. So let me add some more data over here. I'll put the serial number, the brand, product name, and then I want to add months in this column. January in short form, February. Since we are preparing the sales report for the whole year, I would like to add more months to this column. So what I would do is, I would just select these two cells. What you will notice is there is a dot at the bottom right of the box. So I will take my cursor to that and I will just drag this line. You can see the preview that the months are appearing one by one. So I would take it till December. Excel is smart enough to identify that you are creating a table of months. So it will automatically put the months by itself. Now you have another option over here. Once I drag this, there's a small toolbox which is opening over here. Once I click this arrow, it will give me some additional options. Like for example, in this case, we are filling the series. That means we have filled the series of the month of Jan to December. Similarly, I can just copy the cells. See what happened. I copied Jan and Feb and I dragged for the next 10 cells. So what it did is, it just copied those 2 cells and pasted across the other cells. The other option over here is fill formatting only. Let me color this cell green and this one, let me choose another color, blue. Now see what will happen. I will do the same thing. I will drag this line until December. And I will select fill formatting only. So what Excel did here is, it just copied the format of the first and the second cell and it pasted across. The next option is fill without formatting. Here what will happen is, Excel will copy the series but it will not copy the format. So let us just go back and fill the series and I will remove the format. To remove the format, I will just go over here and I will just click no fill. So the color is gone now. Let us add some data over here. Serial number will be 1. Let me take one brand. Let me put some sales figures. This will be the sales quantities for January and for February. Now, I need to fill this data for you. I'll come back in few seconds. Alright, our data is ready. A cell can hold 3 types of data: text, numerical, and formulas. You will notice that all the cells containing the text data will be starting from the left side, and all the cells containing the numbers will be on the right side. Now let's add one formula to this. Let's assume this is the sales data for a company. I have mentioned the brand, the name of the products, and these are sales for the whole year. So let us put a formula. Let us put a total for this whole year. I type total, I press enter, I will come down. Excel will provide you some shortcuts to do the calculations. Like for example, if you want to add up, there is an option over here. Just go to the home tab. In the ribbon, just come to editing. Click this drop down, auto sum. Click on this drop down menu and select sum. What Excel is doing, it is analyzing from where the numerical data is starting up to that point until this point. It is making a summation. The marking will tell you the whole story here. The summation is from D4 to O4 and I press enter. You will see that the total is 3257. This is a formula. If you don't want to use the direct option, you can calculate the formula by yourself. Any formula will begin with equal to sign. So let us put equal to. I type equal to and I put the same equation. I put sum. I will type sum. I will open a bracket. In this case, I have to start from January to December. So I will click this cell and I will drag it until December and I will close the bracket. Now I want the total to come across all the cells. So there are 2 ways of doing it. One is you just take the cursor, go to the bottom right side of the cell. When this cross sign will appear, just drag this cell until the end and press enter. The total has automatically come till the bottom. There is a way you can check the formula. Let us go to the last cell. When I go to the formula bar, I can see that the equation is summation D33 through O33. Excel will display all the cells that occur in this formula. Now that we have made the summation for the whole year, we will do a summation for each month. January, let me go to the bottom of January. This will show me how many pieces were sold in the month of January. So I will just scroll down. Okay, I want the total here for say. I will go to the auto sum option and I will just click sum and then enter. Same way, I will just click on this cell. When this cross becomes dark, I will just drag this formula until the end. So now I have complete details. I have the sum for the whole month and I have the sum for the whole year. I have kept these cells blank on purpose just to show you another example of what we did earlier. I want the serial numbers to appear from 1 to whatever number. So I will just put number 2 here and I want it to do autofilling. I will just select this cell, these two cells, and drag it till the bottom. You will see that the numbers have automatically appeared. If I want more options, I will just click on this drop down and select accordingly. But right now, I'm happy with this. Since we have the complete data ready, it's very important to format the data. This data looks completely scattered. If you want to present this data to someone, it should look a little appealing. That's where the formatting comes into picture, and it is one of my favorites. You will notice that some names in row B and C are not readable. That is because the cell size is too small to hold such data. This can be fixed very easily. I can change the size of the cell by just clicking between these two rows and I can simply drag this line. You have seen that the cell size has changed. There are many ways of doing it. Let us see another example. Row C, I will just click between these two cells and I will just double click. You will see that Excel has automatically adjusted its cell according to the size of the data. I will do same thing over here. I will just click in between these two cells and I will just double click. Okay, now it's perfect. There is another way of resizing the multiple cells. I will select the data from D to P and I will just move one cell. What Excel has done here is it has automatically adjusted all the rows with the same size. I will just resize it again. I will just select the cells and I will double click. This is too close. I will just make it big. I will just copy the cells. I will just make it a little bit big. Perfect. What if there is a spelling mistake and you want to correct it? Notice what will happen when I simply click on the cell and try to type something. It will completely replace the content of the cell. So to edit the content, you have to double click the cell. You will notice that the cursor will appear. You can now edit the content the way you want. So there's a difference in being on the cell and inside the cell. To make a spelling correction, you have to be inside the cell. If you simply just click on the cell and try to type something, it will replace the previous content. Now let us make this report a bit attractive. I want this ABC Electronics to come in the center of this report. So what I will do is, there's an option of merging the cells. So I will just select these cells, go to the Home tab, and there's an option of merge and center. I will just click the drop down and I will click this merge and center. You can see that now it's perfectly in the center. Also, I want the serial numbers to be in the middle of the cell. By clicking the header of the row, you will select the whole row. Now I want to center align it. Again, I will go to Home tab. Remember that most of the formatting is in the Home tab. I will go to Alignment group and I will select the center alignment. You must have noticed that the numbers have come in between. Let us make this also center align and I want to make this bold. I will select the data which I want to edit. Now I want to make this bold. I will go to the font group and I will select this bold. There is an option to select the entire worksheet. You just have to click on this arrow button here. You will see the entire worksheet has been highlighted. Now I want to change the font style of this entire worksheet. So I have made the selection. I will go to this option. I will choose the font style from this drop down. Let me take Arial. You can see the font style has changed. I need to make some small adjustments here to this row, slightly over here, and now we are good to go. I want this company name to look a little bigger, so I have two options to do that. I can either select it from here, or I can either select this to make it bigger or this one to make it smaller. Let us give it some color. You can choose the color from here. Let me choose any color. Okay, and let me color this as well. I will go down and color the total as well. Let me type in total over here. Total. And I will make this also bold. One very important thing to notice over here is when I have scrolled down to the bottom of my data, I cannot see the heading. The person who will read my report, he will not understand this data belongs to which month. So in this case, Excel provides you one fantastic option of freezing the cells. This is how you do it. In this case, I want to freeze the header from here. So I will just click on this column. I will go to View tab. Under View tab, there is a group called Windows. In that, I will have this option called Freeze Panes. I will click on the drop down. Now there are three options: Freeze Panes, Freeze Top Row, and Freeze First Column. If you click on the Freeze Top Row, it will only freeze the top row. In this case, I don't want it to freeze the top row because I want the row 4, because I want the column 4 to be freezed. I have done the selection. I will just click Freeze Panes. Now let's see what will happen. Now when I scroll down, I can easily see that the data belongs to this particular month. You can also freeze the rows. You just have to click on the particular row, go to the same option. Let me first unfreeze it and then freeze it. Again, Freeze Panes. Now you will see that when I scroll to the right side, a portion of data is intact and rest of the part is moving. I can also freeze both together. I will just remove this unfreeze. Now in this case, I want to freeze it from here. So I will click on this particular cell, okay, so that this part will not move, and when I click over here, this part will not move. So I will just keep my cursor over here and I will click Freeze Panes. Let's see what happens. You can see there is a marking over here showing you that it is frozen from this line to this line. So when I scroll down, I can see the headings, and when I scroll to the right side, I will see the brand and the product name. The next is filter. You can see my data is having multiple brands. That is why the filter option is very useful. I will select the data. I will go to the data tab. Here you can see in the sort and filter group, there is an option called filter. I will just click that button. You will see that the arrow mark has appeared. That means the filter has applied to this line. Now you might notice that some part of the cell is occupied by this filter, but no need to worry. You can just readjust your cells, just make it a bit bigger, and that's it. So let us explore what is this filter. Since my data consists of multiple brands, there are very high chances that I will use this filter option. Right now, I can see the sales of the entire brands. But what if I want to see the sales of one particular brand? I will just go to the brand column. I will just select this triangle here, and you can see there is a drop down. In this drop down, you will see all the brands that were entered in my data. So to select one particular brand, I will just unselect first. Then I will select one particular brand, let's say Apple, and then I will click OK. You will notice that only the sales for one particular brand has appeared. Similarly, I can also select multiple brands. Let us say I want to select 2 brands. It will show me the sales of these 2 brands. There is a shortcut way of checking the total. Let us see if I want to find the total of these numbers. Just select them. Come down to the right side of your sheet. Just before the zoom button, you will find that Excel has already calculated the average of these cells. Meaning, this is the average of this data. And you can also see that it has 5. That means it has counted these 5 cells. And this is the sum, 1440. So in this way, you can just have a quick look at the total or the average. Now you might wonder, if the total is 1440, why in our sheet it is showing 8378? That is because this sum is showing for the whole data, that is for all the brands. So if you're using filter, I would highly recommend you to use the formula of subtotal. You can also insert rows and columns in between your data. Let me just unfilter this first. Let's say if I want to enter a line over here, I will just go here, right click on this and click on insert. So you can see the line has been inserted. Now if you go to the total here, this total will include this empty cell as well, because we have selected the data from D4 to D33. So whatever lines you insert in between, those will be included in the total. Similarly, if I want to insert a column, I will just go to that particular column, right click and insert. You will see that a new column has appeared. So right now we don't need it. So similarly, you can just right click and delete it. Right click and delete. So let's go back to the subtotal. Let me just type subtotal here. Subtotal. I press tab, I come here. Any formula will start with equal to sign. So I will put equal to. I will type subtotal. I will click on this box. Double click. You will see that there are many drop down options over here, like average, count, max, min. What I want is the sum. So I will just click on this sum, double click on sum, comma, and I will select the entire data from top to bottom. That is from column D4, that is from D4 to D34. Close the bracket and press enter. You will see that the total is matching with this because we have not used the filter yet. So let me just drag this equation till the end and show you what will happen if I use the filter. So I will go to brands again, unselect because I want only one brand or multiple brands. I will select Apple and OK. Now you will see that the total is 1221. Let me just cross check it. I will copy these cells. I will go here and the sum is matching my subtotal. So it is correct. So if I choose multiple brands also, let me choose some of the brands here. I select this. I can check the total of here 2756. It is matching my total here. So that means subtotal is working correctly. So now I want to format this as well. What I can do here is I can just copy this format. I'll just click on any cell. I will go to this format painter, this brush, select it and just brush it over here. So we have the same format now. I will highly recommend you to use the subtotal instead of sum, especially in your reports where you might use filter. Now, apart from choosing a particular brand, there are several options in this filter. This is a vast topic, so I will not be able to cover everything in this video, but I have made a separate video about how to use all the filter options and also shared some important tips. I will share the link of this video in the description so that you can go and watch it. Sometimes it is very difficult to read the figures if it is not in the accounting format, especially the larger values like this. So what you can do is, you can select the data, you can go to the insert tab, under number, you can just select this drop down where it is mentioned general. I will select accounting and then I will click on this comma. And then it will ask you how many decimals you want to keep. In this case, I don't want any decimals. So I will just click over here to remove the decimals. The difference here is, if you see the big values, you will find very easy to read if it's in the accounting format. You can also add currencies to this. Just select, let me just show you an example of one line. Just select this, drop down, and example US dollars, and then remove the decimals. So you can choose whichever currency you want. Right now we don't want this currency, so I will just click the comma and then remove the decimals. Now some people might find this ribbon annoying because it is occupying a lot of space and your workspace is kind of very low. So if you want to remove this ribbon, just right click anywhere on this ribbon and then collapse the ribbon. So the ribbon has kind of disappeared now. Now it will appear only when you click this tab. If I click the home tab, the ribbon will come down. If I click on the sheet, it will go back again. It will give you a larger space to work on. So if I want it back, I will just right click on this tab and click on this collapse the ribbon. So it has come back to normal. Now some of you may share this report with multiple colleagues in your office, and in that case you don't want them to change your data. So you have an option of protecting your data. Let me show you how to do it. First of all, let us rename our sheet. So you just go to this sheet. By default it will be named as sheet 1. So let us rename it. I will just right click and select on rename. I will type ABC sales report. Now you have several options over here. Let us explore one by one. First is insert. Now in this dialog box, Excel is asking me what I want to insert. So I will just click on this worksheet because now I need a blank worksheet. So I will just click this and say OK. So you will see that another worksheet has been created. You can create many worksheets as per your requirement. Just insert worksheet and then OK. The next is delete. Now there are two things we have to remember. This is a completely new worksheet, so we have not worked anything on this. So if you just click the button, directly it will delete the sheet. Let me just show you. I will just press this delete. The sheet 1 has disappeared. Now since we have worked on this sheet, it will ask you, if you click the delete button, it will ask you whether you really want to delete this file. I will just click cancel. The next option here is move or copy. This is also one of the most important functions. Let me click this. This is used in case if you want to move or copy the file. Now I'll click this drop down. There are two options here. One is new book and one is book 1. If I want to move this file to the new book, I will just click new book, or I will just click the worksheets which are open. Book 1. Now it will ask me where I want to move this sheet. So I will just move to an end and I want to make a copy of this sheet. So I will just create a copy and then select OK. You will see that a duplicate file has been created. Now you can move your active sheet to another workbook. Let me show you an example. I will open one workbook, one sample file. And now let me try the same option again. I will right click, move or copy, select the drop down. Now when I click this drop down, you will notice that the sample data file is also displaying over here. So that means whatever files which are open, which are currently open, those will be displayed in this drop down. Now let me move this sales report to another file. I will just click this sample data file and it will ask me the same thing, whether I want to move to the end or where. So I will just click move to end and I want to create a copy of this file. Otherwise the current sheet itself will move to the new workbook. So I'll create a copy and then OK. So now this sheet has been copied to this sample data file. I will just close it because I don't want. So back to our original file. Let us see the next option. Right click, view code. This is a Visual Basic page. It is used to write programs in Microsoft Excel. So this is a bit advanced, so we will learn it later on. So I will just close it. Right click again and then protect sheet. Now Excel will ask me a password to protect my sheet. So I can just type something here 123 and select OK and then reconfirm the password 123 and then say OK. Remember that you don't forget your password. So now my file is protected. So if I try to delete something from the file, this message will appear that I cannot make any change because it is protected. This is very helpful if you don't want your colleagues or someone to mess up with your data. So I will just unprotect again, right click, unprotect and then put the password and click OK. Now I will be able to edit this file. There's one more thing in this protect sheet option. You will see that in this drop down there are many options, there are many checkboxes. This means that you can allow certain users to edit a particular cell, a particular content. Let us say if you have created a questionnaire and you want your employees to fill the answers, only the answers and not change the questions. In that case, this is useful. This also is a vast topic, so I have made a separate video on this. You can just go to the description. The link will be available. The next is I can color the tab. I can color the tab of my sheet. I'll make it yellow and this is red. So this is as per your choice. And the next is hide. I can also hide the sheets. I may have several sheets and then I have a final summary and I don't want to share them. So I can just hide it so that nobody can see. But they can just right click on this and select unhide. And it will show me all the hidden sheets. I'll click this and say OK. So my sheet is right back. The next is select all sheets. Now if I want to color all the sheets together, I can just select all, right click and let us make it blue. So it has affected all the sheets together. This can save your time as well. Let us just edit this cell total. I will just double click and I will type grand total. Now if I want to resize this cell, if I double click, you will notice that the size of this column is not matching with these columns. So to make it even, if I try to make this even, some of my text is not visible. So in this case, I can use the option of wrap text. Under alignment group, there is this wrap text. I will just click this. See what happens. It has wrapped the text in this one particular cell and also resized according to these cells. Now we can center align this. Just click on this data and then center align. I can also put borders to this table. I will just select the entire table. I'll go to the home tab. Under this font group, I have this option of putting the borders. Drop down and then all borders. And I'll put a border to this as well. Now this might look a small thing, but believe me, if you don't format your reports in the best possible way to make it look better, No matter how good your data is, you will not be able to impress the audience. So for that, I have made a special video to show you the complete formatting and how to use different types of colors and borders to your reports. The link will be in the description for you. Some of you might not like the grid lines in their report. So there is an option to remove these grid lines. Just go to the View tab. Under View tab, there is a Show Group. In this, just uncheck this box. You will notice that the grid lines have disappeared from here. What you see here are not the Excel grid lines. These are the borders which I had put a while ago. If I had not put the borders for my report, it would look something like this. I will try to remove the grid lines from here. It will look like this. So let us put the grid lines back. To put it back, just check this. And the other options here are, you can also remove the formula bar. Just uncheck this. So the formula bar has disappeared. And if you want to remove these alphabets and the numbers, you can just uncheck these headings. So now it has disappeared. I will recommend you to keep the headings because with that you'll know the cells and the reference numbers. So let me just bring it back, and the formula bar is back as well. Next is adding comment to a cell. If you want the reader to see a specific message in your report and at the same time you don't want to display it in the worksheet, you can do that by using this comment option. Before that, you should also know that when I right click on my worksheet, I have the access to this menu. Now you might not use all these options at the moment, but in my next chapters I will cover them. Now coming back to comment, let us take a scenario here. This particular item is not having sales in the first 6 months. So that could be a reason that the item was launched in the month of July. So you want to mention it as a comment. So what you can do is, you can just click on any of this cell. Example this one. Right click. Under this menu, just select insert comment. So now you can type whatever comment you want. Item was launched in July. And I can resize this comment box as well according to my liking. So now you will not be able to see the comment. You have to come on this cell and you have to just hold your cursor on this cell. You can know by this red marking whether any cell is holding a comment or not. Next is deleting the data. There are many ways you can delete your data, but I will show you some specific functions which will be useful for you. One way is just to select your data. Let me select all these columns and I will just right click and then delete. So my whole data has disappeared. But there are specific functions also. I will just press Ctrl Z to undo this. So my data is back. I will go to the Home tab. Under Home tab, to the extreme right side of the ribbon, there is this editing group. Under that, clear. But first let me select the data which I want to delete. I will just copy my data. Let's say I want to delete the whole thing. Clear, clear all. So my entire data has vanished. I'll just press Ctrl Z again to show the other options. The next is clear formats. This will keep my data intact, but it will remove all the formatting what we did earlier. Ctrl Z. Next is clear content. This function will clear the whole data except the formats. The next is clear comment. Now we had put a comment a while ago. This one, I will select cell, clear and clear comments. This is useful when your sheet is having multiple comments. But if you have, let's say, only one comment, you can just click on that cell, right click and delete comment. Or you can also edit the comment if you want. So now we will delete the comment. Now we have covered all the basic things. So if you want to print this data, if you want to print this report, I'll just show you. Go to the file, under that print. So make sure before printing your whole data is covered in this print preview area. Right now you can see my half data is missing. So I will just go to the page setup and I will click fit to one. That means my whole data will fit into one page. Since my data is small, I can fit all the data into one page. But what if we have a huge data? In that case, we have to make sure that each and every page is aligned properly. Now it's not possible for me to cover this in this video, so I will make a separate video on that and I will share the link in the description. So let us continue. Fit to one page and I'll click OK. So my whole data is in this page. So I prefer to have a landscape because my data is in the landscape form. Landscape, this is portrait and this is landscape, and then I will click OK. So now it is much readable, and then I will just click this print button. But right now I don't want to print, and you can also choose the number of copies you want, 1, 2, 3 as per your requirement. But right now I don't want to print it, so I will go back. The final and the most important thing what you do is to save the report. I'll go to file, you can click save or save as, choose the destination over here. I'll choose desktop and I will save with the name ABC sales report and then save. So now you can see the default name was book 1. Now it is showing with my name, that is ABC sales report. All of this basic information, in my opinion, gives you a good foundation to understand the basics of Excel. If you learned something from this video, please hit the like button so that this video reaches to many people, and also subscribe because I'm going to post many informative videos. Thanks for watching and watch my more videos.